Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang channel. Thanks for joining me once again. Today, I am going to dive on in for a first look at Wastes of Chaos for 5e Dungeons and Dragons from Kobold Press. This is written by Richard Green, Tim Hitchcock, Sarah Madsen, Philip Larwood, and Kelly Pollock. This 210-page hardcover is making its way into stores right now, carries an MSRP of $49.99, or you can grab just the PDF alone over at DriveThruRPG for $29.99. All that said, let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got Wastes of Chaos. So I have to point out, I'm really excited to take a peek inside because if you follow the Gaming Gang, you already know I am a huge fan of the Midgard setting from Kobold Press. It's kind of their home setting for their fantasy role-playing game releases. So this is a new region that is going to get more detail about the world of Midgard. So I am looking forward to diving on in. But before we do that, let me point out the fine folks over at Kobold Press were kind enough to provide me with this review copy. But neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this coverage with you. These days, it's important that you know that. We're not going to look at each and every page inside this volume, but I do want to give you a good feel for what's in Wastes of Chaos. Now, I do believe that this is both player and game master facing. I don't think there's any adventures included within this because there is a volume, Tales from the Wastes, which includes adventures focusing on Wastes of Chaos. And I'll be taking a look at that in the very near future. But I think that's where all the adventures are located. So if you are a player, you don't really need to tune out because this is for players and game masters, I believe. We're going to find out, though. So let's take a look at the back. Enter devastated lands ruled by chaos. Venture beyond the civilized world into the howling badlands where villainous cults do as they please and ancient constructs lie buried beneath the dust. Heroes brave enough to embrace arcane corruption can unearth great riches, forgotten magic, and powerful secrets, or a swift demise. And then it's going to tell us what we're going to find inside the book, but we're going to dive on in and take a peek anyway, so I don't need to read that. So let's take a look here. So we've got quite a few artists involved. Let's make sure we give them a little bit of credit there to start off with. And it looks like there were over 2,700 Kickstarter backers who helped make this a reality. So the book is broken down into different chapters. We're going to have Dangerous Lands, Heroes of the Borderlands, People, Tribes, and Cults, Places of Chaos, Monsters of the Wastes, Spells and Magic, as well as some new gear and ancient treasures. And we're going to wrap up with an appendix which features Midgard lore. So what's in this book? Wastes of Chaos provides game masters and players a wealth of new options for use in any campaign. So there you go. It is both player and game master facing. Players can find options that tie their characters to these dangerous and devastated lands, while the book offers game masters everything they need to add the wastes to their adventures and campaign settings. The wastes of chaos are unpredictable and deadly, and those who dwell there are hardy people that struggle for their daily survival. These perilous lands also offer amazing opportunities and heroic adventures for those willing to brave their hazards. So it looks like we're going to start off with a bit of a gazetteer discussing this region and different areas of it. So we have different environments in the waste. So we've got badlands, and then it's going to break down some more information about what sort of weather you would find there, travel conditions, creatures who make these various environments their homes. So we also have battlefields. So we get notable sites for these environments as well. So we've got the battlefield. So as an example, we've got Greenfield as a notable site, Rover, which is actually R0V3R. We get some story nuggets, some story seeds. So we got deserts. So it's cool. We get a bit of the gazetteer to start off with. The polluted blights. And then we're going to have Heroes of the Borderlands, which is probably going to give us some new options for player characters, including new races. So we've got the automaton. An automaton is an artificial life form, not a construct, but a living organism. Though superficially, an automaton resembles a human, having the same general physical characteristics, the perfection of its form is a clue to its nature. Its facial features are just a bit too symmetrical, its skin too unblemished, its body shape just a shade too robotic. Inside, their muscles, bones, and organs resemble those of typical humans, but an artificially created crimson liquid flows through their veins instead of blood. And then we've got the dust goblin. Of all the humanoid races that live in the blighted lands of the world, perhaps the most successful are the dust goblins. Their ability to survive in almost any environment and the prolific rate at which they breed enables them to face nearly any challenge that comes their way. Indeed, in a land populated by otherworldly horrors, unhinged cultists, and rampaging dragons, that they not only survive but prosper is something of a miracle. Okay, so those are the new races. Well, we have Wasteland Dragonborn, Wasteland Orcs. Okay, so those are just kind of offshoots there. We've got some new subclasses. So the Barbarian gets Path of the Demon. Druid gets Circle of Dust. Fighter gets the Doombringer. The Monk gets Way of Chaos. Like the artwork. That's one thing about Kobold Press that you'll find is production quality always top notch, artwork's always excellent, paper quality's good. This will hold up to repeated use. I say it all the time. If Kobold Press isn't the top third party publisher focused on 5e D&D, then they're in the top 3, obviously enough. So we've got the Wasteland Rover for the Ranger, the Bandit Priest for the Rogue, as well as a Chaos Cultist for the Rogue. And the Warlock gets Demonic Tutor. Then we get some new backgrounds. Chaos Child, Wasteland Reaver. Then we get into the People, Tribes, and Cults, which provides examples of individuals and groups that characters encounter in the wastes, including interesting and engaging NPCs the characters can interact with. So we've got Chaos Reavers, which are disorganized bands of thugs and hooligans that threaten wasteland wanderers and settlements alike. Got the Cult of the Black Goat. That sounds very Lovecraftian. The Black Flock gathers in many forms, and her speakers preach the truth of the mother whose loins bring forth multitudes in all her grand and terrible manifestations. The Red Moon Bandit Gang. The storytellers who weave tales describing pixies, fairies, and sprites as giggling, harmless joy makers clearly never encountered the Red Moon Bandit Gang. This band of outlawed and exiled fae prowls the wastelands, preying upon travelers, caravans, or most recently, raiding the surrounding communities. The gang is made up of fey creatures, primarily sprites and corrupted pixies, but a scattering of big folk like halflings and gnomes, and a few bigger folk like humans and orcs round out the company. And it looks like we get some stat blocks for some important NPCs. We have the spider face goblin tribe. It looks like these are some of the NPCs here. That's kind of cool. Nice. And then we get into Places of Chaos. This chapter presents 11 unique locations found in the wastes for exploration and adventure. Each locale has a map and description to make it immediately ready for the game master's use when adventuring. So we have Bleak Spire, it's a tower of the Lich King. Rust Spike, castle of the Lord of Ruin. The Cathedral of the Black Goat. Let's take a look. Here's the map for that. We've got the keyed locations on that map. Taking a peek at a few of these. The Goblin town of Nitchdevin. Hey, you know me. I just love to mispronounce fictional people, places, and things all the time. Maze Caverns of the Wasteland Drake. All right. So 11 different locales ready for game masters to utilize in adventures. So it looks like each location gets about 3, 4 pages. So here we've got the Vault of the God King. So that's 2 pages there. We get the map. That's 3, 4, 5. Do I hear 6? Yes, there we go. Then we get into the bestiary, Monsters of the Wastes. Take a look at a few of these. The Black Goat Priestess. Doom Champion Overlord. This is a Chaos Drake. Eldritch Horror. A native of an unknown universe, an eldritch horror crosses into the mortal world when a sentient creature comes face to face with its own death. Each individual occurrence of such an instance draws forth an eldritch horror too small and weak to do much harm, though the mortal in question typically doesn't survive the experience. But when loss of life occurs on a large scale, such as during a war, famine, or plague, the result is a huge eldritch horror that billows out across the landscape, searching for more life to snuff out. Mm-hmm. Dust Goblin Archmage, a drone robot. And it looks like we've got a good amount of artwork for the bestiary here. I can't say each entry is getting an image, but as you can see, quite a lot of them are. It's the Vile Looter. A Warped Treant. Once a renowned defender of the forest, a Warped Treant is a corrupted version of its original self, brought about when dark energy seeps into the earth where a treant is rooted. The creature is twisted into a servant of a vile power. It now guards its domain and anything in it from interlopers. Wasteland Monarch. The Wasteland Monarch is the self appointed leader of a band of wasteland bandits, marauders, or tribesmen using a combination of raw strength and potent charisma to keep its underlings in line. Wasteland worm. Channeling a little Dune there. Okay, so then we've got some new spells. Looks like we've got a good number of spells here. Sweet. So, as an example, we've got Earth Swim, Rock to Mud, Invoke Chaos, Scintillating Chaos, Doom of the Oasis. You send powerful waves of dark energy coursing through a living creature within range. The target must make a Constitution saving throw. On a successful save, it takes 2d8 necrotic damage and the spell ends. On a failed save, the creature becomes incapacitated and it takes that 2d8 necrotic damage at the end of each of its turns as water pours out of its mouth and eyes. Wow. Target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success. Doom of Horrid Visages. Doom of the Crawling. Okay, then we get some ancient treasures and gear, such as the Armageddon Sphere, the Baton of Dominance, Bracers of the Old Gods, Jumping Beans. Inside a burlap pouch are 3d4 dry kidney beans. As an action, you can consume one of these beans. For the next minute, you can jump 3 times your normal distance. Got a glow bomb. Fruit of Wounding. You can eat this salted and dried fig as an action. Once you do so, you add your proficiency bonus to your damage rolls for 1 minute. It's quite a bit in Wastes of Chaos, I can tell you that much. Skulls of Nog. Named after an ogre magi warlord who terrorized the wastes for several decades and was infamous for his collection of skulls, these objects look like normal human, elf, or orc skulls constructed out of semi-precious stone. The saving throw DC for any spell cast from a skull is DC 15. That talks about the different skulls. All right. And then we get into Midgard lore. While Midgard abounds with settled regions rife with political and social intrigue, with conflicts of inhabitants and the ambitions of the powerful, it also hosts warped landscapes. This appendix highlights regions of chaos wastes in the Midgard campaign setting. Excellent. So this is how you're going to incorporate Wastes of Chaos into Midgard. Cool. And then we get some ads for a variety of recent releases from Kobold Press. And that's what we find when we take a look inside Wastes of Chaos for 5e Dungeons and Dragons from Kobold Press. Of course, I will have a review of Wastes of Chaos in the very near future. I'm excited. I am really looking forward to diving on in and giving this a read. That is it for this time out. If you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell. Because not only will it let you know when I upload videos such as this first look, it'll also let you know when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit gaminggang.com for our latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you won't find here on the YouTube channel. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks for taking time out to check out the video. And until I see you next time, here's hoping each and every one of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.